How we doing, guys? Today I'm working on the truck again. I want to redo the intake on it. After doing the test drives and stuff like that, you could tell that it needed to be tuned a little bit, and found out that Power by the Hour actually sells a intake for that, because I guess I should have known this. I kind of forgot that, but a lot of these newer engines are very sensitive to like small changes, like a cold air intake or exhaust manifolds or something like that, or headers or something. So you have to have them tuned. And even though it ran pretty good, you could tell there was kind of some little bit of hesitation, or just wasn't quite running quite right. So after talking to them, which they were obviously helpful with it, but that intake has to be a certain diameter size to see the certain amount of airflow going past the sensor. So it's calibrated to that, I should say. I could go and have it tuned by someone and just use that same intake, but it actually was cheaper to buy the kit from them, and instead of going to have it tuned and everything like that. So I figured I'd go that route, but I do have to basically redo the pipe. And so this is the old pipe, and this is 3.5 inch. The new pipe is actually the kit that I bought. The diameter is just slightly bigger, which was, I think that's why the truck ran okay to begin with, because it was pretty close to that volume of air going past there. But we're going to try and get the new setup in there, but it's a little bit, I'll have to make the air filter come out a little bit, I think, but it's going to be a very similar setup here, and we'll probably just save this. I think I'll end up cutting this. Power by the Hour does sell basically the whole setup. So basically they have the filter, the tube where the sensor would go, and then they have some more tubing, I think, that you cut, but in between they have the rubber grommets, or not grommets, but the rubber to link those two together. I don't necessarily want a bunch of rubber pieces in here. I'd like to paint this eventually. So I'd just like to see the filter and then aluminum tube right to this rubber clamp there. So that's what I want to do, and I'll show you. So this is basically the kit that I bought. Just a filter and then the tube. So it's I think 85 millimeters or something like that, and then you just bolt it right on. So nicely made, but this is roughly 3 3/4 across here. And so I have to narrow it down or somehow merge it to a 3.5. I do have some leftover tube that I bought when I did the first one. So, but I don't want this. We'll see here. I don't have the wrapper on there, but it's a little bit smaller. It actually goes in there almost. But I want kind of a nice transition. I don't want just a step, 1/4 inch step down. So I ended up buying this tapered piece. It's actually a 4 inch on this end to 3.5 on this end. So that'll be the same size there. And then I just have to basically cut that down, figure out what, where the 3 3/4 is. It's probably going to be right in the middle here. So I'm just trying to slowly cut down. Right now it fits over, oops, sorry. Right now it kind of fits over that. And I had it marked. All I did was just basically put my marker on the table here and then spun this to get my line nice and straight. But I'll try and cut that down and basically keep cutting it down so it fits on there and it's just a perfect diameter. And then I can weld around there, and then I'll weld this piece here to that pipe, and then we'll end up welding it to the elbow here. So somewhere around here I'll probably cut that and figure out the length here. It is a little bit bigger filter, and that tube is bigger diameter, so I do have to kind of fit it together here and see if I'm going to have room or if I have to angle it. Right now it might work out that I can just run it straight. I don't know if I'm going to have to angle it down at all, but we'll see. Once we kind of get this off of here and start mocking up the new one, we'll see if I have to angle it. Alright, I tried to do a little trick here, or I did a little trick. Basically took that diameter and I traced it on some ram board, cut it out as close as possible, and then I'm just going to put that on here. And then I know basically where I need to cut, because it's won't slide on any further. And it was halfway. I had tried cutting it already once, or you can see I cut it. But this line here was halfway in the middle, or 1.5 inches, because this was 3 inches long. So 1.5 inches to here, and that's right where I need to cut it. So we'll get that cut right on the line there, and I should be able to match up now with that piece. All right, I got the reducer welded on here, about right here is where the line is, where it's like 3 3/4, and then this is 3.5 here. So got that all welded up and kind of smoothed down for now. I think that'll be all right. And then we'll weld the rest of the pipe on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and run it just straight over. I did make this little bracket, I guess. All I'm going to do is just rest the filter on there, and hopefully it'll be right below that fender. Just something to support the weight out there. I kind of want to do that on the last one, but this one we're going to try and run it over. I think that'll be okay. It shouldn't really move around or anything. It might vibrate a little bit, but we'll see how that goes, or if I have to redo that somehow. But hoping to run straight across. And I think I'm going to have enough where I'm not going to be hitting this hose, and then just come over and then dump it in here. I may have to turn the elbow here kind of up a little bit just to clear this, but I think I should be able to deal with that as far as with the rubber coupler here, and just move that a little bit and redo it. But next I want to cut the elbow off the old one, and then we'll figure out the length that I'm going to need between, you know, because this will be about right here. Just clearing that hose a little bit where it starts to taper down to 3.5, but then I'll cut that and then weld those two together, and I'll be able to clock them where I need it to, because I want to, where the sensor is, it should go like this. I'm going to try and put, I think, the sensor up just a little bit and then back. I should have enough room to stretch my wire out so it just ties in right here. But you know, I could put the sensor straight down, really anywhere you want to. It's not as like the old Fox bodies where you had to clock them just right. From what I understand is you can mount it any direction, but I want to keep moisture if the moisture gets in the sensor. Where is the sensor? So you may get moisture that gets in there if it's upside down. You know, chances are it's not going to have issues, but you never know. So just to keep that, I want to keep it at least not totally horizontal, maybe just up just a little bit, so any moisture that may get in there will at least run out. So that's what we'll try and clock it that way. But I'm going to cut the old pipe, and then we should be able to weld this, you know, to the rest of it. Then I cut the elbow off the old one, off the old pipe, and I measured to see how long I'd need, so I got that started to weld there. Now I just got to put the two together. I have my mark on there already. Let's get that lined up, and I should have the mass airflow sensor turned the way I want it, and then pretty much we should be done. I do want to end up painting this, but I've got to make sure it's all going to work first and fit and everything, and then we'll worry about that. So, but yeah, I'll clean all this up and paint it nice. So, well, there we go. Got the tube all fully welded up. Even went and smoothed out the imperfections in it with a little body filler or Bondo, and then actually gave it a coat of paint to match the truck. So I said screw it, and I went through all that work to do it. It should work, hopefully. It should run better. I got the sensor installed. You can kind of see it there. But we'll get this thing installed in the truck and actually give it a little test drive and see if this thing works any better. It always did kind of have, since I had it running, kind of some stumbles and, you know, imperfections in the tune. So I'm really hoping this takes care of it. And you know, you can kind of see that this was still 3.5 inch, and then it kind of goes flares open to 3 3/4, something like that. But I think it's like 85 or 88 millimeter inside here. So that should be the stock diameter or area that the, you know, F-150 or the Mustang would have in there. So it should read right. So, all right, got the intake all installed. I want to take it for a little test drive now. There's actually a little Cars and Coffee or Cars and Caffeine going on today. So I'm going to buzz down there and check out some cars and see how this thing does now with that new intake. I think it's going to work a lot better, but we'll find out and see. So. Can already tell it's a lot more responsive. It used to be kind of a delay. I kind of thought, I didn't know if it was in the transmission or what, but it definitely a lot more crisp. You know, the tune was maybe 80% there, and now, yeah, it's quite a bit better. We'll see once we get to some more open roads here. Definitely boogies now. It drives way better. Still not perfect. Can still tell there's some bucking at idle. I mean, this thing basically, any gear you're in, it's idling. Going down the road, barely have to put any throttle into it, and she goes. You know, there's just no weight to this truck, so but yeah, at like 30 miles an hour, still kind of going through towns, you can feel a little bit of a bucking at lower RPMs, so that's probably got to get tuned down a little bit, but it's way better. There used to be kind of a little stumble when you would speed up and get off the throttle. You'd kind of, I don't know, hesitate or something. That's out of it, so it's a lot better. All right, we are here. What's up, guys?
How's it going, man?
Good.
Good to see you.
Yeah. there. Good showing, I guess. Weather wasn't the greatest, but it is getting to be winter here and fall. So otherwise, yeah, truck's running good. Still needs just a little bit of tuning probably, but I mean, we're probably 95% there. And yeah, I'm happy with the new intake on there. Looks good. Seems to be running good. So I appreciate you guys watching this. Hopefully you liked it. So until next time, we'll see you later.